in a land of whispering woods and moonlit meadows, where wild flowers bloomed in every color of the rainbow and trees whispered secrets to the wind, there lived a little giraffe named Jiggy. She was a tiny giraffe with a huge imagination who dreamed of touching the stars and proving that no dream is too big, no matter your size. Jiggy loved nothing more than to imagine herself dancing among the clouds and feeling the softness of stardust beneath her hooves. Every night, when the sun dipped below the horizon, Jiggy would gaze up at the starry sky and make wishes upon shooting stars. She'd close her eyes, feel the soft breeze on her face, and dream of the day she could reach those twinkling lights. One evening, as Jiggy was getting ready for bed, a friendly firefly named Fizzle buzzed into her room. "Jiggy, have you ever wished upon a shooting star?" Fizzle asked, his light flickering with excitement. Jiggy replied, "Of course. I want to touch the stars and dance among the clouds." As they set off into the magical night air together, their footsteps quiet on the glowing wildflowers that carpeted the ground, Jiggy felt her heart grow bigger with excitement. The wind carried the sweet scent of blooming lavender, and the stars twinkled like 1,000 tiny candles. Fizzle's light led the way, illuminating a path through the night sky, until they reached a soft, white cloud shaped like a giraffe's head. It was wearing a sparkly crown made of stardust. Jiggy gasped in wonder, her eyes wide with excitement. "This is the dream cloud," Fizzle exclaimed. "It will take you to your heart's desire." Jiggy stepped onto the cloud, and it enveloped her in its gentle folds. She felt herself being lifted higher and higher until she was floating among the stars themselves. The stars sang a lullaby of twinkling lights, and Jiggy twirled and danced with joy. Her hooves left behind sparkling stardust as she moved, making trails of magic that illuminated the night sky. For one magical moment, Jiggy was touching the stars, and when she looked down, she saw that Fizzle was there beside her, smiling with delight. The dream cloud gently lowered Jiggy back to the ground, and she felt a sense of wonder still echoing in her heart. As they said their goodbyes, Fizzle whispered, "Sweet dreams, little one. May your heart stay full of wonder." And with that, Jiggy snuggled into bed, feeling grateful for her friend Fizzle and the magic of the stars. In the silence of her room, surrounded by the soft glow of moonlight, Jiggy's eyelids grew heavy, and she felt her heart fill with a sense of contentment. The last thing she heard was the soft whisper of the wind carrying the scent of lavender and the distant twinkling of the stars. As she drifted off to sleep, Jiggy smiled up at the starry sky, knowing that tomorrow would bring new adventures and more magical moments. In this peaceful slumber, her heart remained full of wonder and magic, surrounded by the gentle whispers of the night and the sparkling lights of the stars, lulling her into a dreamless sleep. Like and subscribe for more bedtime stories that will take you on magical adventures. Sweet dreams, little one. May your heart stay full of wonder. The zebra's magical dust trail in a lush meadow filled with wildflowers that danced in the gentle breeze. Z the zebra lay down her striped blanket under a canopy of soft leaves. The air was sweet with the scent of honey and lavender, carried on the whispering wind that rustled the petals of the nearby flowers. Z snuggled into her cozy bed of dry grasses and closed her eyes, letting the soothing sounds of the meadow lull her to sleep. But just as she was drifting off, a soft voice whispered in her ear, "Follow me, Z." It was Kibo the giraffe, standing nearby with a mischievous twinkle in her eye. Z's ears perked up, and she followed her friend into a mystical forest filled with towering trees that shone like mirrors in the fading light. The leaves rustled softly as they walked, releasing glittering sparks that settled on Z's fur like stardust. As they wandered deeper into the woods, Kibo pointed out tiny fireflies gathering around them, their soft glow lighting up the path ahead. In a clearing where a tiny stream babbled and splashed its way through the center, Z's eyes sparkled with wonder at the enchanted landscape. A wise old owl perched on a branch above, watching over the scene with wise, knowing eyes. The air was filled with the scent of roses and vanilla, and Z's heart swelled with joy as she listened to the stream's gentle melody. As she leaned forward, tiny creatures, iridescent butterflies, delicate starfish, and shimmering seaweed blankets gathered around her and Kibo, filling their hearts with laughter and enchantment. A soft breeze rustled through the trees, releasing sparkling petals that drifted down around them like confetti. With hearts full of wonder and bellies full of sweet dreams, Z snuggled closer to Kibo, feeling the warmth of her friend's presence. Together, they settled down at the edge of the stream, surrounded by their new sparkly friends. As the moon rose high in the sky, Z's eyelids grew heavy, and her breathing slowed. In this enchanted land, where dreams were woven with magic, Z and Kibo's friendship bloomed like the flowers beneath their feet. Their hearts beat in harmony, filled with love and wonder. And as they drifted off to sleep, Z whispered a gentle lullaby to herself. "May your heart stay bright, little one, under the twinkling moonlight." The stars shone down on Z, their soft sparkle weaving a gentle spell of peace and restful dreams. Like and subscribe for more joyful adventures. May your heart stay bright, little one. In a shimmering coral garden filled with fishy laughter and sunshine, one sunny morning, Raina the rainbow fish swam out to greet the day. Her scales shimmered like moonlit mist, reflecting every hue of the rainbow from gentle peach to rich turquoise. Raina's heart was as kind as her scales, spreading warmth and comfort wherever she swam. She loved nothing more than playing with her fish friends in the calm waters of Sunset Cove. Raina would dart about, chasing after schools of shimmering silver fish, laughing as they chased her in a game of hide-and-seek behind coral reefs. Her scales would ripple with excitement, casting iridescent glows across the seafloor. One day, while exploring Sunset Cove, Raina met a shy little fish named Luna. Luna's scales were dull and gray, and she hid behind a sea fan, too afraid to play. Raina swam up to her and said, "Hello, I'm Raina. Would you like to be my friend?" Luna's eyes sparkled with hope, and she replied, "I'd love to, but I feel so dull and plain." As they talked, a giggling jellyfish floated by, its translucent body glowing in the sunlight. Raina's heart went out to her new friend, and she offered to help. "Let me show you my sparkle," she said. Together, Raina and Luna set off on a journey across Sunset Cove. Raina used her own sparkle to create a pathway of glittering scales that would guide them through the cove. As they swam, the seaweed rustled softly, releasing tiny bubbles that danced like diamonds in the sunlight. Luna watched in awe as Raina's sparkles spread, transforming her dull scales into vibrant hues. A soft pink glow began to shine on Luna's belly, followed by a radiant orange tail. The fish friends played hide-and-seek behind coral reefs, their laughter echoing through the cove. Their adventure took them beneath coral reefs, where sea turtles lazily munched on seaweed and fish played together in the warm, golden light. A firefly named Finley tickled Luna's fin with his sparkly tail, making her giggle with delight. The sunlight filtering down from above cast a cozy glow on the water, making everything feel snug. As they reached the heart of Sunset Cove, a glowing pearl nestled within a bed of shimmering shells. Raina touched her scales against it, and its light poured into Luna's body, restoring her magic. The pearl's glow illuminated the entire cove, casting a soft, rainbow-colored mist that surrounded them both. The sea creatures gathered around, their eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you, Raina," they chorused. From that day forward, Luna swam alongside Raina, playing and laughing together beneath the starry skies. As the sun began to set in Sunset Cove, casting a warm orange glow across the water, Raina led her friends back to their cozy coral beds. The fish settled into their homes, grateful for the friend who had brought color and light back into their lives. Luna snuggled into her bed of soft seaweed, feeling happy and proud of herself for facing her fears. As the stars twinkled above, Raina smiled softly to herself, knowing that she'd shared her sparkle with others. In the silence of the night, Raina's scales continued to shine, spreading warmth and kindness throughout Sunset Cove. The sea creatures' soft snores harmonized with the gentle lapping of waves, creating a soothing melody that rocked all of them gently into a peaceful slumber. And as the moon shone bright in the lavender sky, Raina's sparkle merged with Luna's, filling their hearts with a deep and abiding friendship. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more magical bedtime stories. In a sun-dappled meadow, where wildflowers swayed like ballerinas and butterflies danced in the breeze, Pablo the panda stretched his fluffy arms and yawned. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming lavender and the soft hum of bees. Pablo loved this time of day, when the world felt full of possibility. As he wandered through the meadow, Pablo came across Luna the ladybug, who was busy painting a masterpiece on a large rock. "What's your canvas for today?" Pablo asked, watching as Luna added a delicate stroke here and there. "I'm creating a sunflower garden," she replied, her antennae twitching with excitement. "Would you like to help me?" Together, they gathered colorful rocks and petals, creating a vibrant arrangement that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. As they worked, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, and a tiny wind chime attached to Luna's backpack began to tinkle. Pablo laughed at the merry sound. When their garden was finished, Pablo suggested they take a walk along the winding river that flowed gently through the meadow. "I have an idea," he said, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "We can build a bamboo raft." As they wove together tall bamboo stalks and tied them to a log, a curious fish named Finley swam by, asking what they were making. Finley was invited to join the fun, and soon all three friends were paddling their makeshift boat down the river. The sun beat down upon them, warming the wooden hull, and the water sparkled like diamonds as it rippled beneath the paddle. Pablo grinned at Luna's infectious laughter, which echoed across the water. As they floated further downstream, the river opened up to a secret cove, where a glittering waterfall cascaded into a shimmering pool. A wispy cloud drifted lazily overhead, casting a mystical glow over the scene. In the heart of this enchanted place stood an ancient tree, its branches adorned with delicate lanterns that flickered like fireflies. Pablo's eyes grew wide as he approached the tree. "This must be the legendary magic cave," Luna gasped, and Finley wriggled his tail in excitement. Together, they climbed the winding path up to the cave entrance. As they stepped inside, the air cooled and a soft, ethereal light enveloped them. Inside the magic cave, Pablo's doubts began to creep in. "What if I'm not brave enough?" he whispered, feeling a tiny tremble in his chest. Luna and Finley sensed his fear and gathered close, their gentle voices reassuring him. "We're all here together," Luna said softly. "And with your curiosity, we can face anything." With newfound courage, Pablo explored the cave's wondrous wonders. Glittering crystals, rainbow-hued gemstones, and delicate, sparkling threads that seemed to weave themselves into a shimmering fabric of light. As they wandered deeper into the cave, their laughter and whispers filled the air. Eventually, it was time for bed, and Pablo knew he needed to return to his cozy bamboo hut by the meadow's edge. His friends bid him a fond farewell, promising to meet again soon at the magic riverbank. As Pablo settled into his soft, fluffy bed, surrounded by stars twinkling above, he felt grateful for the day's adventures and the friendship that made it so special. With a happy sigh, Pablo closed his eyes, letting the lullaby of crickets and rustling leaves rock him gently to sleep, the dreamy panda drifting off into a slumber filled with sparkling magic and memories of wonder. Like and subscribe for more joyful bedtime stories. What will you dream tonight? In a sun-kissed meadow, where wildflowers swayed in the gentle breeze, Bella the bee buzzed with excitement. It was her birthday, and she had a secret plan to celebrate with all her friends. The first scene unfolded as Bella landed on a patch of velvety purple lavender. She danced around the fragrant blooms, twirling her striped stripes with joy. Her best friend, Benny the butterfly, fluttered alongside, playing a lively tune on his tiny flute. The air filled with sweet melodies as they performed an impromptu dance party for the flowers. "Oh, Bella, your birthday is going to be the best one ever," Benny exclaimed, his wings shimmering in the sunlight. Bella blushed, her honey-colored stripes glowing brighter. "SHH, Benny, it's a surprise. Let's get everyone together and have a buzzing good time." As they fluttered off, Bella led Benny to a clearing filled with an array of colorful flowers. Red roses, yellow daisies, bluebells, and pink carnations. The flowers all gathered around, their petals rustling softly in anticipation. Next came the third scene, where the river flowed gently into the meadow. Luna the ladybug pushed a tiny boat made from a seashell, carrying a tray of honey cakes adorned with sparkly sugar crystals. "Happy birthday, Bella!" Luna cheered as she arrived at the party. A shy little snail named Sammy slid out from behind a nearby water lily, clutching a gift wrapped in leaves and vines. "I brought you a special present, Bella. Open it when everyone says surprise." Bella's eyes sparkled with delight. She blew a kiss to Luna, who giggled and handed the honey cakes to Benny and Sammy. Together, they all shared a sweet treat while watching Bella blow out the candles on her birthday cake. A towering masterpiece crafted from twisted stems, petals, and leaves. But just as the party was reaching its peak, a faint whisper of doubt crept into Bella's mind. What if it doesn't go exactly as planned? What if I forget something or make a mistake? Benny and Luna sensed her hesitation and swooped in to comfort their friend. "Don't worry, Bella. We've got you covered. You're an amazing birthday bee." With newfound confidence, Bella rallied her friends once more. They twirled around the clearing, playing a rousing game of hide-and-seek among the flowers. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden light across the meadow, the party came to a close. The friends said their goodbyes and promised to plan another adventure soon. For Bella's final scene, she settled into her cozy honeycomb home, surrounded by sparkling candles and a sea of soft, fluffy petals. Her heart full of joy, she snuggled into bed, feeling grateful for her loving friends and the magical day they shared together. As the stars twinkled to life in the night sky, Bella's eyelids grew heavy, her breathing slow. The hum of the meadow lullaby lulled her into a peaceful slumber, where sweet dreams of buzzing flowers and sparkling honey filled her heart with delight. Like and subscribe for more joyful bedtime tales. Sparkles in a sun-dappled forest filled with giggling mushrooms and singing butterflies lived a playful puppy named Penny. Book's Penny loved to chase squirrels and dig for juicy bones. But most of all, she adored her fuzzy pink toy bunny named Mr. Flops. One day, while playing hide-and-seek, Penny lost sight of Mr. Flops. She searched high and low, but the little bunny was gone. Feeling sad, Penny knew she had to ask for help from her forest friends. Rainbow Penny bounded through the forest, her tail drooping a little. She first met Freddie the firefly, whose light blinked sadly as he heard about Mr. Flops. "Don't worry, Penny," buzzed Freddie, his light shimmering. "I know just who to ask. Let's go find Rosie the raccoon." Rosie lived in a cozy den built into a giant oak tree. She was known for her super-sniffing nose and her love of puzzles. When Penny explained about Mr. Flops, Rosie perked up, her bushy tail twitching with excitement. A missing toy, eh? This calls for a rescue mission. First, Rosie used her incredible nose to sniff the air, following faint traces of pink fluff. Then Freddie's light blinked rhythmically, guiding them through the winding paths of the forest. They crossed babbling brooks and climbed over mossy logs, their paws leaving little prints on the soft forest floor. Next, they met Barnaby the badger, who lived in a burrow beneath the roots of a towering willow tree. "Barnaby," called Rosie, "we need your digging skills. Penny lost her toy bunny, Mr. Flops." Barnaby scratched his head with his sturdy claws and grunted, "Follow me." He led them to a patch of soft earth where he had dug before. As they dug, suddenly, squeak, they heard a tiny squeak coming from the hole. A little pink nose popped out, followed by Mr. Flops. Penny jumped for joy and gave Mr. Flops a big hug. "Oh, Mr. Flops!" she exclaimed, her tail wagging so hard it almost knocked over Freddie's light. Glowing Star Penny thanked all her friends for their help, showering them with happy licks and playful nips. They all gathered around the base of the willow tree, watching as Penny chased after Mr. Flops through the golden afternoon sunlight. The forest echoed with laughter, reminding everyone that even when things seem lost, friendship and kindness can always find a way. Light bulb even when toys go missing. Friends are always there to help you find them. Clapper board, and if you enjoyed this little adventure in the forest, don't forget to snuggle up close and dream of fluffy bunnies and playful puppies tonight. Like and subscribe for more bedtime adventures that will spark your dreams. Which magical friend do you think helped Penny? Sparkles in a meadow where dandelions danced in the breeze, lived Mia the unicorn. She wasn't just any unicorn. She was a rainbow unicorn. Rainbow books Mia loved to sprinkle color onto the sky with every happy thought. But one day, her colors faded away. She needed to find something kind to make them shine again. Rainbow Mia galloped through fields of sunshine yellow buttercups. She met a little ladybug who was stuck on its back. Mia gently nudged it over with her horn, and the ladybug flew off, leaving a trail of sparkly red. "That's one happy thought," Mia whispered, but her rainbow still hadn't returned. She skipped past a grumpy worm digging in the dirt. The worm grumbled about his lunch being too dry. Mia dug up a juicy worm from her garden and shared it with him. The worm wiggled happily, leaving behind a trail of shimmering green. "Two happy thoughts," Mia giggled, but her rainbow was still missing. She reached a babbling brook where 3 baby squirrels were crying because they couldn't reach their nuts on a high branch. Mia carefully lifted the nuts with her horn and dropped them right into the wading paws of the fluffy squirrels. The squirrels chattered happily, leaving behind a trail of bright blue sparkles. "3 happy thoughts," Mia exclaimed. Suddenly, Mia felt a warm tingling in her horn. She looked up at the sky, and it was bursting with color. A beautiful rainbow arched across the meadow, brighter than ever before. Every color danced and shimmered as Mia galloped beneath it, feeling joyful and proud. She realized that even small acts of kindness could make a big difference. Glowing Star Mia continued her day, spreading rainbows wherever she went. She shared her delicious dandelion puffs with butterflies, helped birds build their nests, and played hide-and-seek with the playful rabbits. Each act of kindness made her horn sparkle brighter, painting the world with happiness and wonder. Light bulb, even small acts of kindness can bring joy and light to the world. Clapper board and remember, little listeners, that your own hearts are filled with magic. Share kindness like Mia, and watch your own rainbows bloom. Rainbow like and subscribe for more magical bedtime adventures, and let us know what kind acts you'll share today. Sweet dreams. Sparkles in a lush jungle where the banana trees swayed to a secret rhythm. Books Momo the monkey, always full of curious ideas, lived in a bright yellow treehouse. One day, he saw a juicy mango high up on a branch too high for him to reach. He tried jumping and stretching but couldn't get it. Then, Momo had an idea. Rainbow Momo bounced with excitement. "I need help," he shouted to his friends, Poppy the parrot and Benny the butterfly. Poppy fluttered down from her perch on a mango tree. "What's wrong, Momo?" she chirped. "This juicy mango is just out of reach," cried Momo, pointing up at the branch. Benny landed gently on Momo's shoulder, his wings shimmering in the sunlight. "I can fly high," he buzzed, "but I can't carry things." Momo scratched his head, thinking hard. His fluffy brown fur stood on end as he pondered. Suddenly, a wide, clever smile spread across his face. "Poppy," he said excitedly, "could you fly up and grab the mango? Then Benny could carry it down to me." Poppy thought for a moment. "That sounds like a brilliant plan," she chirped. With that, she took flight, her colorful feathers flashing against the bright blue sky. She reached the branch, carefully plucked the ripe mango from the tree, and held it gently in her beak. Benny flew beside her, ready to help with the heavy load. As Poppy descended, Benny buzzed excitedly around her, making sure she was safe. Benny gently nudged the mango from Poppy's beak, carrying it down to Momo. Momo's eyes sparkled with joy as he accepted the delicious gift. He took a big bite and sighed happily. "That was teamwork at its best," he exclaimed. "Thank you both. Now let's share this yummy mango together." Glowing star and so, under the warm jungle sun, Momo, Poppy, and Benny shared their sweet, juicy treat. They laughed and chatted as they savored every bite, happy to have worked together to overcome a small challenge. Light bulb working together makes even the tastiest treats sweeter. Clapper board if you enjoyed today's little adventure with Momo. Don't forget to snuggle up close and dream of your own jungle adventures tonight. Like and subscribe to discover more heartwarming adventures. Sweet dreams, and remember, even the juiciest mangoes are better shared. Sparkles in a sky sprinkled with cotton candy clouds lived a sleepy unicorn named Luna. Book's Luna loved her fluffy cloud castle, but sometimes it was hard to wake up for breakfast. She had to learn how to greet the sunshine with happy hooves. One day, a little hummingbird zipped by and gave Luna a wonderful idea. Rainbow Luna's mane shimmered like spun gold as she trotted through the clouds. Her horns sparkled, leaving trails of tiny rainbows in the sky. She loved her cloud castle. It was shaped like a giant dandelion puff and had windows that glowed like fireflies. But Luna was known for being very sleepy. She'd often wake up late, missing the sunrise and the singing birds. One morning, a little hummingbird named Zip zoomed past Luna's window. "Good morning, Luna," chirped Zip. "The sun is already painting the clouds with orange and pink." Luna yawned, her eyes barely open. She mumbled. "Maybe just 5 more minutes." Zip fluttered his wings worriedly. He knew how much Luna loved to see the sunrise. It made her mane glow extra bright. Zip decided to help. "What if we play a game?" he chirped. "I'll fly around and collect sunshine drops from every cloud, and you can try to catch them with your horn." Luna perked up a little. "Catch sunshine drops? That sounds fun," she said. Zip zipped away, gathering tiny drops of sunlight that sparkled like jewels. He flew back to Luna, dropping a golden ray onto her horn. Luna giggled as the ray tickled her nose. She closed her eyes, imagining the warm sun on her fluffy mane. When she opened them, she was filled with energy. "Look, Zip!" she exclaimed. Her mane shimmered even brighter than usual, reflecting all the sunshine she had caught. The clouds around them were painted in vibrant colors, and the sky seemed to sing a happy tune. "Thank you, Zip," Luna whispered. "Now I want to see the sunrise." Together, they watched as the sun peeked over the horizon, casting long shadows across the fluffy landscape. Luna danced among the clouds, her horn sparkling like a beacon of joy. Glowing star as the day went on, Luna and Zip played all sorts of games. They raced through rainbows, chased after giggling moonbeams, and shared stories under the soft glow of twilight. By evening, Luna was tired but happy. She snuggled into her cloud castle, dreaming of more sunshine adventures with her new friend. Light bulb, even sleepy unicorns can find joy in waking up to the sunshine. Clapper board, and if you enjoyed today's little adventure, don't forget to close your eyes and dream sweet dreams of colorful clouds and sparkly unicorn horns. If you enjoyed today's little adventure, don't forget to give it a smile, a share, or even a happy click on subscribe. Because there are so many more magical tailies waiting just for you. In a land where sunshine tickled flower petals and the clouds wore fluffy cotton hats, lived a kind princess named Alara. She had hair like spun gold and eyes as blue as forget-me-nots. Princess Alara loved helping everyone in her kingdom, whether it was teaching squirrels to share their acorns or mending the wings of a lost butterfly. One breezy afternoon, while strolling through the enchanted garden, Alara stumbled upon something truly magical. Nestled amongst a bed of shimmering daisies was a crown unlike any she had ever seen. It was woven from swirling rainbows, each arc glittering with tiny, twinkling stars. As Alara gently lifted the crown, it seemed to hum with warmth and light. Suddenly, a little voice chirped, "Welcome, Princess Alara. I've been waiting for you." A tiny rainbow ladybug landed on her nose, its wings shimmering like jewels. "This is no ordinary crown," the ladybug explained. "It's the rainbow crown of kindness, and it chooses princesses who spread joy and love wherever they go." Alara's heart fluttered with excitement. She placed the crown upon her head, and a wave of happy energy flowed through her. The garden burst into a kaleidoscope of colors as flowers bloomed in every hue imaginable. Butterflies danced around Alara, their wings painting patterns in the air. "With this crown," the ladybug chirped, "you can bring even more happiness to your kingdom. Share its magic with everyone you meet, and watch as kindness spreads like sunshine." Princess Alara beamed. She knew exactly what to do. She visited the grumpy old gardener who always seemed to frown. The crown made his wilting roses bloom into a vibrant rainbow of colors, and his heart softened with joy. She helped a shy little unicorn find its lost foal, and the rainbow crown brought them together, their laughter echoing through the forest. As days turned into weeks, Princess Alara's kingdom became a haven of happiness. Every act of kindness, big or small, was amplified by the magic of the crown. The people learned to share, to help each other, and to spread joy wherever they went. At night, as she lay beneath the twinkling stars, Alara looked at her reflection in the pool. Her eyes sparkled with happiness, just like the rainbow crown perched on her head. She realized that true magic wasn't just about rainbows and stars. It was about the love and kindness we share with each other. And that, thought Alara, was the most beautiful magic of all. Zoom, Leo shot across his spaceship's room like a rocket on a hot date with the moon. He was 7 years old, lanky as a beanstalk with spiky silver hair that flopped whenever he moved. His spacesuit, shiny and new, had extra pockets for collecting stardust and space-flavored gummy worms. Leo's wide, amazed smile could light up a whole galaxy. Today was a big day, his first trip to the moon caves. Beep boop, chirped Zoom, Leo's robot sidekick, zipping around with flashing lights. "Remember, Captain Leo," Zoom said in its squeaky voice, "never touch anything glowing green. It might be space jelly, and it's extra sticky." Leo giggled and gave Zoom a high five, his gloved hand leaving a bright pink imprint on the robot's shiny metal arm. The spaceship hummed with excitement as it zoomed towards the moon. From his window, Leo watched the Earth shrink into a blue marble, dotted with white clouds like fluffy marshmallows. Finally, they reached their destination, a giant crater shaped like a crescent moon, its entrance shimmering with a gentle blue light. "Wowzers," Leo gasped. The moon caves were even bigger and more sparkly than he imagined. Thousands of crystals hung from the ceiling, casting rainbows on the soft, white sand floor. Strange creatures with glowing antennae scuttled past, leaving trails of sparkling dust. Leo's eyes widened as he saw a pile of green jelly bouncing around like a bouncy castle. He couldn't resist reaching out. "Just a little peek," he whispered, but Zoom yelled, "Captain Leo, no!" Too late, Leo's finger touched the green goo. It wobbled and pulsed, then suddenly shot up like a giant rocket, carrying Leo high into the air. This is fun," he shouted, laughing as he bounced around the cave ceiling. But then his laughter died down. He was stuck. The jelly was super sticky, and Leo couldn't wiggle free. He started to feel a little scared. Zoom zipped around frantically, beeping and flashing lights in alarm. "Captain Leo," it cried, "don't worry, I have an idea." Zoom scurried off, returning moments later with a giant spool of silver string. "This," said Zoom, "is moonbeam thread. It's strong enough to break through any space goo." Zoom carefully wrapped the thread around Leo's spacesuit and pulled gently. Slowly, ever so slowly, Leo started to come down. Finally, he landed with a soft plop on the sand floor. Leo laughed nervously, relieved that Zoom had saved him. "Thanks, Zoom," he said, hugging his robot friend. "I learned my lesson. Never touch anything glowing green." He looked at the sticky jelly with new respect and decided to admire it from a safe distance. After their adventure, Leo and Zoom explored the moon caves more carefully. They discovered hidden waterfalls that sparkled like diamonds, met friendly moon creatures who taught them space dances, and even found a giant moon rock shaped like a cuddly bunny. As the sun began to rise over the horizon, casting long shadows across the moon's surface, it was time for Leo and Zoom to head home. "Wow," sighed Leo, gazing out at the Earth. "That was the best space trip ever." He snuggled into his spaceship seat, feeling happy and tired from all the exploring. "Close your eyes, Captain Leo," said Zoom softly, "and dream of all the amazing adventures that await you." Leo drifted off to sleep, a big smile on his face, dreaming of moonbeams, space jelly, and friendly moon creatures waiting for him on another exciting trip to the moon caves. The moon peeked through her cloud blanket, casting shimmering silver stripes across Nina's little bedroom. She was snuggled deep in her comfy bed, wearing her favorite sea blue gown that flowed like the ocean waves. Her long, dark hair, usually a tangle of playful curls, lay smooth and still as she drifted off to sleep. But tonight, Nina wasn't just dreaming, she was on a journey. She imagined herself diving headfirst into the cool, sparkling water, swirling down, down, down into a world of coral castles and giggling fish. She reached the sandy bottom, where a school of silver sardines danced around her like twinkling stars. Nina smiled, her hand waving gently as if she were really swimming through this magical ocean. A giant clam, its shell painted with rainbows, winked at her. "Hello there, little one," it boomed in a voice as deep and rumbling as the sea itself. "Welcome to my underwater garden," Nina gasped. The clam's garden was truly magnificent. Tiny anemones swayed like colorful flowers, starfish peeked out from under rocks, and playful dolphins leaped through the crystal-clear water. A wise old octopus with eyes that shimmered like pearls greeted her next. "Are you lost, little one?" he asked, his voice a soft whisper like the ocean breeze. Nina shook her head. "I'm on an adventure," she exclaimed, her words bubbling up in tiny air pockets. "But I'm not sure what to do next." The octopus smiled kindly. "Follow your heart," he said, pointing with one of his many tentacles towards a shimmering path made of moonlight and seashells. Nina followed the path, her eyes wide with wonder. It led her past playful seahorses, graceful jellyfish that glowed like lanterns, and singing whales who filled the ocean with their beautiful melodies. She swam deeper and deeper, until finally she reached a giant, glowing pearl. As Nina touched the pearl, a wave of warmth washed over her, filling her with peace and tranquility. She knew in this magical underwater world that everything was safe and calm. The gentle rocking of the waves lulled her into a deep sleep, dreaming of coral castles, singing whales, and shimmering pearls. And back in her little bedroom, under the watchful eye of the moon, Nina slept soundly, her heart filled with the magic of her ocean adventure. Max yawned, a tiny hand stretching wide across his face. His striped pajamas were almost swallowed by the mountain of blankets he'd built around himself. He was trying so hard to stay awake, but sleep was like a fluffy cloud gently tugging him down, down, down. "Maybe I can count sheep," Max mumbled. "That always helps." He squeezed his eyes shut and imagined himself in a field of the fluffiest sheep he'd ever seen. They were bouncing around with bright rainbow wool, singing silly songs about dandelions and giggling clouds. But there were just two. "One bouncy sheep," Max giggled, then yawned again. "And another one." His little head bobbed up and down, counting them slowly. Suddenly, a tiny voice squeaked from behind him. "Excuse me." Max's eyes flew open. A fluffy white sheep with sparkling pink ears was standing right next to his bed. It wore a tiny polka-dotted bow tie and had the biggest, kindest smile Max had ever seen. "Hello," Max whispered, forgetting all about counting. The sheep bowed deeply. "My name is Wooly, and I'm here to help you count sheep." "Really?" Max gasped. "But there are only two in my head." Wooly giggled. "That's just the start. Come with me." He took Max's hand. It felt warm and fuzzy like a cloud, and led him on an adventure. They flew through the air, past stars that tasted like candy floss and moonbeams that tickled their noses. They landed in a field filled with sheep of every color imaginable. Sunshine yellow, sky blue, lime green, even polka-dotted purple. Wooly introduced Max to all sorts of sheep. Fuzzy ones who loved to dance, sleepy ones who took naps in sunbeams, even a sheep who could juggle dandelions. They learned silly songs and played hide-and-seek amongst the fluffy clouds. By the time they returned to Max's room, his head was filled with sheep, all shapes, sizes, colors, and personalities. "Wow," Max whispered, eyes sparkling. "So many sheep." He snuggled into his blankets, feeling warm and happy. He knew he didn't need to count anymore. His dreams were already full of playful sheep. Wooly winked at him. "Sweet dreams, Max," he said softly. And as Max drifted off to sleep, he could still hear the gentle bleating of sheep and their silly songs echoing in his ears, filling his heart with joy. The moon hung in the sky like a giant, glowing marshmallow, casting soft shadows on Sophie's room. Sophie was snuggled under her fluffy lavender blanket, but instead of drifting off to sleep, she felt a little bouncy with energy. Her bob haircut bounced as she stretched her arms and legs high in the air. "I wish I could stay awake just a little longer," she whispered. Suddenly, a soft thud came from beneath her bed. Sophie giggled and peeked over the edge. There, in the dim moonlight, sat two fluffy bunnies. One had fur as white as snow, and the other was as brown as chocolate. They both wore tiny sleep masks that looked like miniature crescent moons. "Hello," whispered Sophie, wide-eyed with surprise. The white bunny hopped closer. "We're Benny and Luna," he said in a voice as sweet as honey. "And we heard you wanted to stay awake just a little longer." Luna, the brown bunny, nodded. "That's why we came. We know all sorts of sleepy stretches and twists that will help your body relax and get ready for Dreamland." Sophie's eyes sparkled. Really? Can you teach me? Benny and Luna grinned. Of course. They hopped onto the bed, leading Sophie through a series of gentle movements. They called it Bedtime Yoga. First, they stretched their arms up to the sky like reaching for a bright star. Then they bent down low, touching their toes with their fingertips, pretending to tickle sleepy flowers. Next, they curled up into tight balls, imagining themselves as cozy little hedgehogs, snuggling deep in their burrows. Then, they slowly rolled from side to side like fuzzy bowling balls, giggling as they went. Sophie loved it. Each stretch and twist made her feel calmer and more relaxed. She giggled as Benny tried to balance on one ear, his tiny tail wiggling with laughter. Luna showed Sophie how to breathe in deep, feeling the air fill her belly like a warm balloon, then slowly let out the breath, puffing it out like a gentle breeze. As they finished their last stretch, Sophie felt so sleepy and content. She thanked Benny and Luna for the wonderful bedtime yoga session. They hopped onto the floor, yawned politely, and snuggled up next to each other, already fast asleep. Sophie closed her eyes, smiling at the thought of her new bunny friends. She took a deep breath, feeling calm and happy. "Good night, Benny," she whispered softly. "Good night, Luna." And then Sophie drifted off to sleep, dreaming of fluffy bunnies and magical bedtime yoga adventures. In a meadow bathed in the soft glow of fireflies lived a little boy named Oliver. He had hair as dark as chocolate and eyes that sparkled like the morning dew. Tonight, Oliver was tucked into his blue pajamas, swaying gently in his bed, humming a sleepy tune. He loved listening to his grandpa's stories about magical forests filled with talking animals and giggling flowers. But tonight, Oliver wished for an adventure of his own. He squeezed his teddy bear tight, hoping he might just drift off to sleep within the pages of one of his storybooks. Suddenly, a soft tinkling sound filled the air. It was like tiny bells chiming, pulling him from his dreams. Oliver peeked out his window and gasped. A shimmering path made of glowing moss stretched all the way through his backyard and into the heart of the moonlit woods. The moss glowed brighter with each step Oliver took towards it. Hesitantly at first, then with growing excitement, he followed the luminous trail deeper and deeper into the forest. The air buzzed with the whispers of fireflies and the chirping of crickets. He felt a warmth spread through him, like being wrapped in a cozy blanket woven from starlight. Soon, Oliver reached a clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center stood a magnificent oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like welcoming arms. As he drew closer, the tree began to hum softly, and tiny lights flickered amongst its leaves. A voice, as gentle as the breeze, whispered from within the tree, "Welcome, Oliver. We have been waiting for you." Oliver's eyes widened. He saw a face formed in the bark of the oak, smiling warmly at him. It was the most beautiful face he had ever seen, etched with kindness and love. "This is the magical forest lullaby," the tree whispered, "a place where dreams are spun from starlight and stories bloom like flowers." As the words left its branches, a melody began to play, soft and sweet as honey. It danced through the trees, swirling around Oliver, filling his heart with peace and joy. He closed his eyes, letting the music wash over him. He saw visions of dancing butterflies and playful fairies. He heard laughter echoing through the trees, filled with pure happiness. The melody lulled him into a state of blissful contentment, cradled by the warmth of the forest and the magic within its heart. When Oliver opened his eyes, he was back in his bed. The soft glow of the moon painted stripes on his walls, and the fireflies outside blinked like tiny stars. He knew, deep in his heart, that his adventure wasn't over. It had just begun. He smiled, feeling a warmth spread through him, knowing that even when he slept, the magical forest lullaby would always be there, waiting to welcome him back with its gentle melody and boundless magic. Emma snuggled deep into her fluffy pink nightgown, the moonbeams painting silver stripes across her curly hair. Her little cheeks were flushed from a day of building fairy castles in the garden, and her eyes sparkled with the magic only a 5-year-old could possess. But a frown creased her brow, making her look like a tiny, worried bear cub. "Where's Mr. Snuggles?" she whispered, searching under her bed, behind her curtains, even inside her toy box. Mr. Snuggles, her beloved teddy bear with one ear floppier than the other, had vanished. He was always there to listen to her secrets, to cuddle during bedtime stories, and to join in her imaginary tea parties. Emma imagined him lost and lonely, wandering through a world of giant toys and whispering furniture. Her tummy rumbled with worry. She couldn't sleep without Mr. Snuggles. Taking a deep breath, Emma decided to embark on a rescue mission. She tiptoed out of her room, clutching a flashlight like a tiny astronaut exploring the unknown. The hallway seemed longer than usual, every creak and groan echoing in the quiet house. A soft glow emanated from under the living room door. With a hesitant push, Emma peeked inside. The room was bathed in moonlight, casting long shadows that danced on the walls. But there, nestled between the sofa cushions, lay Mr. Snuggles. Emma squealed with delight and scooped him up into her arms. "Oh, Mr. Snuggles!" she cried, burying her face in his soft fur. He felt warm and safe, just like always. She looked around the living room again, noticing something sparkly on the floor. It was a tiny pair of silver shoes, glittering like stardust. Emma's eyes widened. She carefully picked them up and examined them. They were so small, they could only belong to a fairy. Emma giggled. Maybe Mr. Snuggles had been playing hide-and-seek with a friendly fairy all along. Back in her room, tucked safely under the covers with Mr. Snuggles by her side, Emma imagined the tiny fairy dancing through the moonlight. She smiled, feeling a warm glow spread throughout her chest. Sometimes, even lost things can lead to magical discoveries. And sometimes, the best adventures are found right at home, in the heart of love and imagination. The moon had slipped on its pajamas, a sky-blue onesie covered in sparkly stars, and peeked out from behind fluffy clouds when Tommy, wearing his green hoodie and cap pulled low over his tousled hair, pointed excitedly at the vast canvas above. "Look, Dad, it's like a giant rainbow sprinkled with glitter." Tommy's dad chuckled, watching his son's eyes widen with wonder as he traced constellations with chubby fingers. "It is pretty amazing, isn't it? All those tiny stars, each one a sun shining far, far away." He pulled out their cozy tent and started to set it up. "Tonight, Tommy, we sleep under the stars just like astronauts." Tommy squealed with delight, bouncing around the grassy campsite. Soon, their tent was a cozy haven, illuminated by the soft glow of a lantern. Dad made them hot chocolate that tasted like melted marshmallows and graham crackers, warming Tommy from the inside out. Outside, the night deepened, and the stars twinkled brighter. A shooting star streaked across the sky, leaving a trail of shimmering light. "Make a wish, Tommy," his dad whispered, his voice a low rumble against the chirping crickets. Tommy squeezed his eyes shut, wishing with all his might to see every single star up close. He pictured himself floating amongst them, riding on beams of starlight like fluffy ponies. Suddenly he felt a tingling sensation, a light buzzing around him. When he opened his eyes, everything seemed different. The tent walls were gone, replaced by a swirling galaxy of vibrant colors. Tommy gasped. He was flying. Not just flying, but soaring through the cosmos, stars whizzing past like fireflies on a warm summer night. Planets of every color imaginable zipped around him, purple ones with polka dots, green ones shaped like giant lollipops, even a blue one that looked exactly like a giant bouncy ball. He landed softly on a star, its surface soft and warm like a marshmallow. A friendly little space creature with big, googly eyes and antennas that wiggled excitedly greeted him. "Welcome to Startopia," it chirped in a high-pitched voice. "I'm Cosmo. Want to see the starry dance?" Cosmo led Tommy through swirling nebulas and past twinkling asteroids. The stars began to move and glow, creating a magnificent, shimmering ballet across the sky. They twirled and leaped, their light pulsating in rhythm to a melody only heard in the quiet stillness of space. Tommy was mesmerized. He had never seen anything so beautiful. As dawn approached, Tommy felt a familiar tug. He knew it was time to go back. He hugged Cosmo goodbye and found himself back in his tent, the first rays of sunlight peeking through the canvas. "Did you have a good dream, son?" his dad asked, stirring him awake with a gentle hand on his shoulder. Tommy smiled, still buzzing from his adventure. He couldn't quite explain everything to his dad, but he knew one thing for sure, sometimes. The most magical dreams are the ones that feel just like reality. As they packed up their campsite and headed home, Tommy looked back at the sky. It was a beautiful day, filled with sunshine and laughter, but now it held a little extra magic for him. He couldn't wait to see what other wonders the world, and his dreams, had in store. In a garden where moonbeams danced on dew-kissed petals, lived a little girl named Lily. Lily had hair as golden as dandelion fluff and eyes that sparkled like the dewdrops themselves. She loved to spend her days exploring the hidden nooks of the garden, befriending giggling butterflies and whispering secrets to the velvety roses. But Lily's favorite place was Storybook Forest, a shimmering haven nestled within the heart of the garden. There, trees whispered tales as old as time, fireflies twinkled with forgotten lullabies, and flowers bloomed in colors that danced like rainbows. It was a place where dreams took flight and imagination soared on wings of starlight. One day, Lily noticed something amiss in Storybook Forest. The leaves seemed dimmer, the fireflies flickered weakly, and the whispers of the trees sounded tired and faint. A tiny, shimmering creature with gossamer wings landed on her shoulder. It was Twinkle, a guardian spirit of the forest. "Lily," she said, her voice like the tinkling of bells, "the magic of Storybook Forest is fading. Without stories to fuel it, the forest will disappear." Lily's heart sank. She couldn't imagine a world without the enchanting tales whispered by the trees or the twinkling lights of the fireflies. "What can I do?" she asked, her voice trembling with worry. Twinkle smiled gently. "Stories hold immense power, Lily. If you tell them with your heart, you can restore the magic." She led Lily to a hidden grove where a shimmering lantern hung suspended from a branch. "This is the Heart Lantern," Twinkle explained. "Each story you tell will fill it with light, and that light will revive the forest." Lily took a deep breath and began to tell stories. She spoke of brave knights and mischievous fairies, of talking animals and magical lands. As she spoke, her voice grew stronger, filling the grove with warmth and wonder. The fireflies danced in time with her words, their tiny lights flickering brighter with each tale. And the heart lantern glowed steadily, a beacon of hope in the fading light. Lily realized that every story held a little bit of magic, a spark of imagination that could ignite wonder in anyone who listened. She continued to tell stories, weaving tales of kindness, courage, and friendship until the grove was bathed in a warm, golden glow. The trees rustled happily, their leaves shimmering with renewed life, and the fireflies buzzed around Lily like happy little stars. As the last story faded into silence, a wave of peace washed over Lily. She knew that Storybook Forest was safe once more, its magic restored by the power of her stories. Together, she and Twinkle watched as the first rays of dawn kissed the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange. With a contented sigh, Lily leaned against a tree, her eyelids growing heavy. "Good night, Storybook Forest," she whispered, her voice soft as the rustling leaves. "Thank you for reminding me that even the smallest story can make the world a brighter place." When the moon peeked over the hills, its silver light kissed Puffy's fluffy ears awake. Puffy was a little cloud lamb with wool as white as freshly fallen snow. Tonight, though, his thoughts were like tumbleweeds bouncing around inside his head, whooshing and swirling, making it hard to drift off to sleep. He peeked down at the world below. Little houses twinkled like fireflies scattered across the land. Somewhere, a lullaby drifted on the breeze, soft as dandelion fluff. But Puffy's thoughts buzzed louder than any music. "Oh dear," he sighed, his fluffy tail drooping. He wished for something calming, something to quiet the storm inside his head. As if hearing his wish, a gentle shimmer danced in the air around him. A tiny, smiling star winked from the velvet sky. "Don't worry, Puffy," it whispered. "I know just what you need." With a sprinkle of stardust, the star lifted Puffy up, higher and higher until he floated amongst the clouds. There, before his wide, surprised eyes, appeared a magical carnival. Glowing lanterns hung like sparkling jellyfish, casting rainbow hues across the fluffy landscape. Cotton candy clouds spun in slow spirals, their sweetness filling the air. And tiny teacups, painted with stars and moons, sailed on currents of wind, carrying giggling little moonbeams inside. Puffy gasped as he watched a parade of friendly animals pass by. A fluffy bunny playing a xylophone made of glowing pebbles. A wise old owl soaring overhead with a banner that read Dreamland. And a mischievous squirrel juggling fireflies that pulsed with soft light. They all smiled at him, their eyes twinkling with warmth. He hopped onto a moonbeam-powered swing and soared through the air, laughing as he touched the starlit sky. He sipped on lemonade served in glowing acorn cups and danced with the moonbeams under the shimmering gaze of 1,000 twinkling stars. Each moment was filled with wonder and joy, chasing away the noise in his head, replacing it with the gentle rhythm of the carnival's magical music. As the first rays of dawn peeked over the horizon, painting the sky with soft pastels, Puffy knew it was time to say goodbye. He felt a deep sense of peace wash over him, like a warm hug from the night sky itself. The star that had brought him here winked one last time. "Close your eyes, Puffy," it whispered, "and dream sweet dreams." Puffy drifted back down to his fluffy bed, snuggled beneath the softest clouds. His thoughts were calm and quiet now, filled with the happy memories of the starlit carnival. He closed his eyes, a smile gracing his face as he drifted off to sleep, knowing that even when the night was dark, magic could always be found in the heart of dreams. In a land where colors danced on moonbeams and fireflies hummed lullabies, lived a little boy named Dev. His heart was as warm as sunshine, but his smile felt shy, tucked away like a secret. Dev loved the Lanterns' Festival of Colors more than anything, a night when lanterns twinkled in every hue imaginable, painting the velvet sky with magic. But this year, Dev felt different. He wished he could share his own colors with everyone, but his lantern remained stubbornly plain and white. Dev lived in a cottage nestled between two sleepy hills, its windows glowing like warm honeycombs. The scent of honeysuckle always drifted from its garden, where plump bumblebees bumbled happily amongst the fragrant blossoms. But today, Dev felt a little lost, as if a part of him was missing. He watched the other children laughing and playing, their lanterns swirling with rainbows of joy. His own white lantern seemed to shrink in comparison, casting only a pale glow against the vibrant tapestry of colors. One day, while wandering through the moon-drenched meadows, Dev met a wise old firefly named Flicker. Her wings shimmered with every color imaginable, and her eyes twinkled like distant stars. "Why are you so sad, little one?" she whispered, her voice soft as dandelion fluff. Dev confided in Flicker about his wish to share his own colors, but how his lantern remained stubbornly white. Flicker smiled warmly. "Colors aren't just found in lanterns, dear Dev," she said. "They are everywhere. Look around you." She flitted from flower to flower, each blossom reflecting the firefly's light in a kaleidoscope of hues. The sunset paints the sky with fiery oranges and soft pinks. The dew drops on the grass sparkle like diamonds. Even the wind whispers secrets in shades of blue. Dev looked closer, truly seeing the world around him for the first time. He noticed the rosy cheeks of the laughing children, the deep green leaves swaying gently in the breeze, the warm brown earth beneath his feet. Flicker led Dev on a magical journey through the meadows, pointing out the hidden colors everywhere. They danced with butterflies whose wings shimmered like stained glass, listened to the rustling leaves that whispered secrets in shades of emerald and jade, and watched as the moonbeams painted silver streaks across the velvet sky. As they walked, Dev's white lantern began to glow softly, reflecting the colors he saw around him. By the time they reached the Lanterns Festival, Dev's lantern was no longer plain and white. It pulsed with a gentle light, filled with the colors he had discovered on his journey. He shared his newfound understanding with everyone, teaching them to see the magic in the world around them. And as the lanterns danced against the starlit sky, filling the meadow with a symphony of colors, Dev smiled, knowing that true beauty comes from within and can be shared with the world. Dev returned home, his heart brimming with warmth. He curled up in his bed, surrounded by the soft glow of his colorful lantern. The gentle hum of fireflies filled the air, lulling him to sleep. And as he drifted off, Dev dreamed of a world painted with kindness and the endless magic of colors.